In this video, we're gonna go over what's selling fast now on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. We're gonna go over what sold within my business in 3 days or less. And I'm also gonna share a couple reasons why I think it's really important to pay attention to this metric. So let's dive into it. Let's start by going over what sold in 3 days. I have 5 sales that sold within 3 days, and 4 of them are bread and butter brands that I'm still loving. And then the 5th is a great bowler brand that I actually just sold for the first time. Okay, so first we've got this Tommy Bahama swimsuit. Love Tommy Bahama, great bread and butter. I sold this swimsuit in 3 days for $34.99 on eBay. I got this at the bins for 90 cents, so it resulted in a gross profit of $29.16. Next, Anthropologie, and this is an older piece, but it is a more substantial piece, which may have you wondering, what do I mean by substantial piece? I consider substantial pieces of clothing ones that are in a higher ASP or average sales price category, such as coats, jumpsuits, maxi dresses, etc., and ones that have unique design features. So this Cartonier jumpsuit fits that bill, and I was lucky enough to score it at the bins recently. I got it for $1.11, and it sold within 3 days for $47 on Poshmark, which gave me a gross profit of $34.47. Next, one of my favorite bread and butter brands is Figs. Figs is a brand that makes high quality scrubs. You'll never be able to go to the doctor's office the same. You'll see it everywhere. This one didn't sell for too much because I paid up for it at Goodwill. Maybe I shouldn't have, but it sold fast, and that's important. It's a Figs Chasma scrubs top. It sold in 3 days on Poshmark for $19, which gave me a gross profit of $5.19. And another favorite is Levi's, specifically 501s. This sale was a pair of shorts that I also got at the bins. Of course, shorts right now are selling quickly. They sold fast for $24, which resulted in a gross profit of $16.35. And lastly, that bolo brand that's new to me is Built, B-Y-L-T. I got a pair of pants by this brand at the bins, which sold fast for $30, which gave me a gross profit of $20.97. Okay, but before we head on to what sold within 2 days, I want to quickly dive into one reason why it's so important to put a value on how quickly something sells. The reason it comes down to 2 words: opportunity cost. Let's say you have a capital constraint. You only have $5 to spend on inventory. You buy an item for $5, get it listed, and that item sits for 60 days, but it then eventually sells for $50. After fees and your $5 investment, that gives you a gross profit of $35, which is great. Sounds good, right? Well, let's consider if we spent that $5 on something that would sell for less money, but more quickly. Let's say we buy an item for $5, get it listed, and then within 20 days, it sells for $30. After your fees on Poshmark and that $5 you've invested, you have a gross profit of $19. But now we can take that $5 and find another item that will sell for $30 within 20 days. If we're able to do that back to back to back, we will have made $57 on those 3 fast selling items instead of $35 on that one higher sales price item that took longer to sell. Whenever you invest money into a piece to resell, you have an opportunity cost. You could have invested that money into a piece that would have sold more quickly, which would have given you the opportunity to reinvest that money again and again. And since for most of us resellers, it's a lot easier to find items that will sell for $30 as opposed to $50, this is typically a more realistic strategy, but it only works if you're able to source items that sell quickly. Okay, so now let's talk about what sold in 2 days. There are a bunch of items that sold in 2 days, so let's run through them. This could be a trend to look out for: exercise dresses. I'm not talking about the ones from Patagonia or Prana, those old school ones. Those take forever to sell, but I'm talking about ones like these. This is a Outdoor Voices polka dot exercise dress, so cute. I got it at Goodwill. It sold in 2 days for $35, and that gave me a gross profit of $17.99. Or this one from Halara that was new with tag that I found at the same Goodwill. It sold for $28, and that left me with a gross profit of $16.39. I just learned about a brand this year that sells really fast, and that is Judy Blue. I purchased a pair of new with tag Judy Blue jeans at Goodwill, and they sold in 2 days on eBay for $47.99. After fees and shipping, etc., my gross profit was $20.18. Okay, this one actually surprised me. It might have been a fluke, but I'll include it here just in case it wasn't. It was really cute, but I'm just surprised it sold so fast. It was this Rebecca Taylor tweed jacket. I got it at the bins and it sold in 2 days for $33, and that gave me a gross profit of $23.11. It was an older style. I couldn't find a stock photo, but there are certain Rebecca Taylor tweed jackets that sell for a lot of money. So potentially this was a better buy than I thought it was when I actually purchased it. One question that I get a lot is what sells well, particularly on Mercari. And one brand that I can say confidently is this one, Vitality, which used to be Balance Athletica. I just recently found it at Goodwill for the first time, and 2 leggings sold super fast on Mercari. The first was this cloud pant in a size large. It sold for $58 within 2 days, which gave me a gross profit of $33.18. And then I found the same style in a size extra large, but it had a small flaw, and that sold in 2 days for $38, which gave me a gross profit of $17.48. So loved finding Vitality Balance Athletica, and if you do find it, list on Mercari. Here's another super fast Mercari sale. I'm not actually quite sure why it sold so fast, but I'll share here just in case. It is a pair of Free People high-rise wide leg crinkle fabric red pair of pants that I got at the bins, and they sold really fast in 2 days for $19, and that gave me a gross profit of $9.91. To be honest, one brand I've been sleeping on, even though I bought it a lot in the beginning of my reselling journey, is Dansko. Certain styles by Dansko still fly off the shelves, and here is a pair that did so for me. It was a pair of clogs that were red leather perforated, really cute, and in a size 41. I found them at Goodwill and they sold for $40, which gave me a gross profit of $14.99. Another older Anthropologie piece, this one I also found at the bins, and it was new with tags. It was a Saturday Sunday dress, and it was a size extra large, which I think might have been key. It sold in 2 days for $31, which gave me a gross profit of $21.85. Pretty good. Okay, if you do watch this channel, you know I was pregnant last year and I fell in love with maternity clothes, and I did a whole video on maternity clothes, and actually this was a brand that I covered within that video. It's Seraphine. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And I was so excited to find a new with tag pair of Seraphine jeans for half off at Goodwill recently. They sold for full price on Poshmark for $68, which gave me a gross profit of $47.39. Yay, happy dance. Okay, a brand we all know and love, Everlane. Some styles sell really fast, some sit forever. So it's important to do your research when it comes to Everlane, but here's one style that sold really fast for me. These high-rise cotton twill shorts. I got them at Goodwill and they sold in 2 days for $25, which gave me a gross profit of $10.99. And then another bins find that sold really fast that surprised me was this Paige floral ruffle blouse, super cute. Sometimes Paige and frame clothing pieces can sell really well for me, but it just depends on the style. So picked this up, sold in 2 days for $24, and that gave me a gross profit of $16.17. And then lastly is a bread and butter brand that I've grown really fond of just recently, and that is Toad & Co. I picked up these pair of Toad & Co. Revival fleece pants up at the bins, and they sold in 2 days for $21, which gave me a gross profit of $13.72. Okay, moving on to items that sold in 1 day, meaning I listed it one day and it sold the next. But before we do, I want to go over another reason why I think it's so important to pay attention to how quickly things are selling. And again, it comes down to 2 words: cash flow. When you buy something for your business, you are exchanging cash for an asset, and hopefully that asset is worth more than the cash that you paid for it. So let's say that you purchased 10 pieces of inventory for $5 each and you spent $50. But let's say that each one of those pieces of inventory is worth $30. Yay, you spent $50 to acquire $300 in assets. However, if those assets are just sitting and sitting and sitting and not selling, well, eventually in your business, you are gonna need that cash. You're gonna need it to pay for expenses, for bills, or just to pay yourself. And last time I checked with Comcast, they don't accept pre-owned clothing as payment. So if each one of your investments has a super long time horizon, then you're going to run into cash flow issues. Therefore, you want to be exchanging cash for assets and then those assets for more cash as frequently as possible in order to have healthy cash flow in your reselling business. And that is why in each one of my Ship With Me videos, I not only report gross profit, but I also report days till sold. Of course, it's okay to have items that sit for longer periods of time and offer a good return. But for these reasons, I think it's a really good idea to pay attention to and source inventory that is going to generate a profit and sell quickly. Okay, now time for the items that I listed one day and they sold the very next day. First up is this new with tag Reformation dress. I had actually sold this exact style, exact same size, also new with tag recently before picking up this one. So when I saw it at Crossroads, I knew to pick it up and I was right, it sold the next day. I did pay up for it. I paid $38.66, but then the next day when I received an offer for $85, I chose to sell it quickly, and that gave me a gross profit of $27.32. This is actually a really good example of gross profit versus gross profit margin, but I've actually already done a video on that virtually nobody watched, but I thought it was really good. So if you want to do extra credit, I'll link it up on the screen. Next, another favorite bread and butter brand, Adriana Goldschmied. I got this pair at the bins and it sold in a bundle for $41.59 next day, resulting in a great gross profit of $30.99. Okay, this next one was an amazing Goodwill find and I remember it like it was yesterday. It's Nike, but it's not just any Nike. It's their high fashion line that has actually been discontinued called Every Stitch Considered. I paid $9.99 for this dress, listed it for $265, and then I sold it the next day in a bundle for $175.17. And that gave me a gross profit of $129.14. Yay! I really hope I find Every Stitch Considered again. Remember those Vitality Balance Athletica leggings that I mentioned earlier that sold really fast? Well, sitting right next to them was another brand that's a really good one to know and pick up, Buff Bunny. That pair of Buff Bunny leggings that I found sold the day after I listed it for $35, which gave me a gross profit of $15.99. I have really been loving selling J. Crew recently, especially pieces like this one. I got these Academy Penny loafers at Goodwill. They were in like new condition and they sold on eBay for $64.59, which gave me a gross profit of $27.98. If you watch this channel at all, you're probably tired of hearing me talk about formal wear, but it's another category that I love, and I've done a whole video on that as well. But I will say a fast-selling formal wear piece is almost an oxymoron, but that wasn't the case with this one. This Baltic-born dress that I got at Goodwill sold the very next day for $30. I did pay up for it, it did have flaws, so my gross profit was only $6.99, but this brand, for the right price and the right condition, is definitely one that can sell really well. And then last is a pair of shoes that I got at the bins, which is pretty rare these days, but these were Doc Marten wedges and they sold so fast. They're an older style too, so I was excited that they just flew off the shelves for $31, which gave me a gross profit of $21.66. We're about to jump into the creme de la creme, the items that sold the very same day that I listed them. But I just wanted to quickly make note of one last reason why it matters to pay attention to how quickly things are selling, and that is morale. To be honest, reselling can be really tough. It can be tough physically, and it can be a financial roller coaster, and it can also just be really difficult emotionally and psychologically. Having a quick win can go a long way in keeping yourself motivated and staying consistent, which is arguably the most important thing you need to do as a reseller. So pay attention to what's selling fast, pick up more of those things and build and keep a momentum that will carry you forward. Okay, so here's what gave me instant gratification and sold the very same day. I personally love selling bras. I especially love picking up bras at the bins, and there are certain bra brands that sell super fast. Cup, which is spelled C-U-U-P, is one of those brands. This one sold in a bundle for $25.78, which gave me a gross profit of $18.71. Okay, this is the first time I've ever sold this brand, but it's definitely a Bolo brand, and it's Ivy City Co. I found and paid up for this Ivy City Co dress at Goodwill, and it definitely paid off because it sold the very same day for $100, which gave me a gross profit of $47.99, which made me a very happy camper. Next, this is the type of Madewell piece that does really well. This ruffle wrap dress, which was a size extra large, I found at Goodwill, and it sold the same day for $38, which gave me a gross profit of $18.39. It took me forever to list these, but I'm so happy I finally did because they sold the very same day. These Naturalizer Effie wedges, I picked up a Goodwill for $6.99. They sold for $24, which resulted in a gross profit of $10.19. If there is a formal wear brand that consistently sells quickly, it's Lulu's. I got this one at Goodwill for $9.99. After listing it, I received an offer the very same day for $28, which gave me a gross profit of $10.39. Okay, next I listed two really cute tops from the bins on the same day, and they both sold in a bundle on that day. This Madewell Westville tank, very retro inspired, very cute, sold for $14, which gave me a gross profit of $9.21. And similarly, very vintage inspired, this Anthropologie floral tee sold for $14, which gave me a gross profit of $9.03. If it's Lululemon and it's at the bins, I'm picking it up, even if it's an older style, and this sale is case in point. These speed up shorts sold the very same day I listed it for $26, which gave me a gross profit of $17.77. And finally, my most recent sale that sold the same day I listed it, which definitely made me do a big ol' happy dance, was this one. I never found this brand before. I found it at the bins in an older bin that a ton of resellers had already gone through. I couldn't believe I found it. I was so excited. The last item of this video is a pair of new with tag Filson Polar Tech pants. I listed them on eBay for $135, and within minutes I received an offer for $100, which of course I promptly accepted, resulting in a profit of $84.13. Okay y'all, well that is the video. If you liked it, could you please return the favor and comment down below one item in your business that has sold really quickly? That way, not only can this video be a resource, but so can the comment section. And as always, if you don't mind, please give this video a big old thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I put out 2 new videos about reselling, thrifting, and business every single week. All right, y'all, well that's it. I will see y'all in the next one. Okay, love y'all. Bye.